Thank you so much for all of you, one by one, and thank you so much for this nice or great opportunity to talk or to join you and to talk about what we have on the ground in the Gaza Strip regarding the environment. I hope the coming period of time will be benefit and describe the figures and facts that we have precisely. Before I started, I have published 5 years ago a book or a manual regarding the community-based behavior change in the Gaza Strip with Oxfam, trying to make something like involvement of the people in our decisions and interventions, and how we can make something like ignition of the community to be enrolled or to be involved. So it's very important if we can use the approaches or the tracks that we built up during that period of time, how we can engage the people in the discussion, deciding and knowing what we have as problems, the prioritization of interventions according to their needs and what we have as resources. And before I started, I have to say something very important, and this is what I learned during the recent period of time, that the political circumstances directly, with no doubt, translated to socio-economic context. And the socio-economic context reflected by the environmental situation, which will be also translated to the health status and the public health issue. So if we have a political problems, the economic and the social will be affected severely, negatively, and can be destroyed also, which will reflected by an environmental situation that bad to result an environment and a health status which will affect the people, particularly the severely or the, let me say, the sensitive people or the vulnerable people, as my colleague Abdul Razak said. I'm Dr. Ahmed Hillis. I'm the head of the National Institute for Environment and Development and assistant professor in environmental science. I work in this project because of the importance of this project. This is very important initial or starting point as benchmark in the environmental issues on the ground for the others to start their work, as we have something like clear as base of figures or records or results. But it was very, very difficult again to work on the ground within the situation that we have in Gaza. The emergency is ongoing, and targetings, bombardment, rocketings everywhere. Our team suffered a lot to collect the data from area to area, especially in the north, and we lost the communication with them 2 to 3 weeks, trying to know what they have and what they, let me say, exposed. But finally, they, let me say, reached us, and then we discussed the situation that they face is very, very difficult. Flees from area to area many times, and forced to go to place and place to secure themselves. But it was very difficult job to do on the ground. The situation in the Gaza Strip before war is very important issue to be mentioned in this paper, because we were not in a good situation to be enrolled in this catastrophic or very difficult situation. At the time of the latest Israeli assault, the population of the Gaza had grown to approximately 2.4 million people, with 45% under age of 15. And they are very sensitive or fragile or vulnerable, if we can say that. 65% also under 24. All of these within an area of just 365 square kilometers. It means that 6,000 people now living or were living in each square kilometer, which considered that time as one of the most densely populated areas in all over the world. And also the economic status of the people was very, very destroyed or weak. Unemployment rates had increased to 50 to 55 and sometimes 60%. as of 2022, 2023, and with youth employment, unemployment at 68%, the economic blockade in place since 2007 by the Israeli occupation had driven more than 65% of the population below the poverty line. In some areas more than this figure. Over 85% of the Gazans relied at that time before the war on international aid, and food insecurity affected 75% of households. You can imagine, or it's very difficult to be imagined, that those people, by these figures, by these records, now under severe emergency and immense of problems relevant to the war which ongoing till to now. The collapse of infrastructure also, the electricity shortages have led to the complete breakdown of water, sanitation and hygiene systems in everywhere in the Gaza Strip. Infrastructure in the Gaza also had been severely compromised by years of a blockade and repeated military attacks on Gaza before what happened during this war. The electricity supply was significantly issued till to keep people 2 or 3 hours, just only 3 hours of electricity within the whole day. And you can imagine the environmental and water and also sanitary facilities, how can be operated without electricity, and what is the environmental situation in this case. The water crisis also was very problematic, challengeable and very complicated. Now we are talking about destruction severely of all of these records and numbers. In addition to all of that, when we talk about the environmental context, we have to say or we have to talk about the main important part of this environment is the human being. When we talk about 43,665 Palestinians have been killed, most of them, or more than half of them, like children and women. 13,319 children and 7,216 women, and more than 103,000 were injured. Most of those people, I'm talking about injured people, now, or 35 to 40% of those people become people with disability. So are you imagine what is the problem of those people? The priority of them is changed completely, how they will be cooperative in developing or protecting the environment and making something like intervention or any contribution to protect the environment while they are lost their hands or legs or one of them, their relative, the beloved people that they lost, the depression that they have. So the psychological issues change, which will be reflected directly to the environment because the priority of the people changed by the war. More than 1,900,000 people internally displaced. Now 90% of the people, they are not in their homes. So if they left their home, it means that their life is completely destroyed. And then the work with the environment, like managing of their waste, managing of their solid waste, wastewater, and how they manage all of the environmental aspects, like indoor environmental issues, will be changed. And let me say, almost it will not be safe or friendly as eco-friendly. 345,000 people facing catastrophic levels of food insecurity and malnutrition. It means that their immunity system will be weak, so they are not, they will not be able to or capable to be tolerant toward the diseases which resulted because of the environmental pollution and contamination that they will live, or that they are already living within all the time in tent shelters and their displaced areas. The debris also contains unrecovered bodies, as you can you imagine, more than 10,000 people, unexploded bombs and the construction and the debris mixed with those bodies till to now, and we didn't get them, or we don't where they are now. Famine threshold may have already been crossed all over the Gaza Strip, especially in the northern part, 91% of the analyzed population. It means that 1,095,000 is projected to face high levels, as I said, of acute food insecurity classified in IPC phase 3, which crisis, and many of other relevant problems within the nutritional status of those people who face now the problems of the pollution that caused by the new environment that they face. About 70% of cropland, 52% of agricultural wells, and 44% of greenhouse areas damaged also completely during this war, in addition to the fishing areas and the shoreline region, and the heavy pressure on small areas of the Gaza Strip and the displaced area now suffer a lot. Regarding the water and sanitation, 96,000 cubic meter of water produced and supplied on average per day between 26th of October till to 8th of November, less than a quarter of water supply prior to the October. And if we would like to talk about water, we have to mention or to handle 5 items: affordability, accessibility, continuity, sustainability, and accessibility, in addition to the quantity of water that they have. All of those 5 items that consider as parameters of water is damaged also for the people. They are not able to access or to affordable, the water is not affordable. And I will mention how cost or the prices of each cubic meter now become during this emergency. And you know the water relevant to the public health and the hygienic practices, hand washing, washing their clothes and their fields or houses, the public health issues which rely completely on the water, and the waterborne diseases impose very heavy on their shoulder burden in their shoulder. This includes nearly 58,000 cubic meter of water produced by municipal water, which is not safe to be used as drinkable, because the brackish water desalination plants may be completely affected because of the electricity and the bombardment, also the targeting, the direct targeting. So we lost many of the water facilities, which affect the amount of water that can be delivered, which also from the beginning, before the emergency, lower than what we want as international organizations parameters or levels. 1 million people now are at risk of sanitation related threats, including rodents and pests 76%, solid waste management 54%, sewage 46%, and the human waste also 34%. Also 60. I'm sorry if we have many of records or figures, but the number makes sense and can explain what we have on the ground. 1.4 million.
Dr. Ahmed, I'm sorry for interrupting, but could you come to a conclusion, please?
Okay.
And you can add on in the discussion later, but please conclude now.
Okay. Regarding the issues relevant also the solid waste and the wastewater treatment, the networks, the infrastructure also targeted or destroyed by a huge amount. Air pollution relevant. One small example for the air pollution, in addition to the ambient air pollution happened because of the explosion and the bombardment. They are now in the Gaza Strip, or 2 million people rely completely on firing or composting or make, let me say, cooking using combustion of rebels and plastic and many of materials released so let me say complicated toxic air pollution substances, which inhaled by the children and women all the time between their residential area or the tents. Quickly, all the shelters also, I'm not going to dive deeply in this records because many of problems also relevant to prohibited weapons that they use Israeli occupation. 85,000 tons of bombs now, the final records that I delivered, as tons of military weapons used or dropped over the Gaza Strip, and you can imagine how many of those bombs not exploded. So it makes something like big problem toward the environment. Also the health sector, which can use to handle the results of the environmental pollution, affected severely. Many of hospitals destroyed, and ambulance healthcare centers, and let me say the needs of the medicine and the treatment, and the thousands or hundreds of thousands of casualty waiting to be transferred outside of Gaza to receive their treatment. Conclusion is very chocolate, very black according to the results of the study that we did. There is many of problems should be managed currently, quickly, as short term and directly, and many of that problem should be taken into consideration during the rehabilitation or the day after the war, and should be taken within strategic planning and intervention. The current environmental crisis in Gaza, accumulation of a prolonged siege lasting more than 17 years, and now compounded by the recent and ongoing Israeli military. The environmental also devastation across the Gaza Strip is not only extensive but also reflects the direct consequences of the years before the war. Regarding what we have to do to address these unprecedented challenges, multifaceted and integrated approaches is essential, very essential. Immediate and strategic interventions are required to mitigate the environmental and public health impacts, which put a very big pressure on the shoulders of the people on the Gaza Strip, while they are suffer a lot from the economic and also health context, and most of them injured, and the family of the injuries now they are very busy or have very problematic issues or challenges regarding their relatives that they in let me say complicated disability. The key actions must include ceasefire. It's easy. It's something very simple. Ceasefire and withdrawal. Secure and immediate ceasefire and the complete withdrawal of the Israeli military forces from Gaza, including key borders areas like corridor of Nate Sarim and Rafah border, Philadelphia, in addition to other areas that they built up as something like buffer zone. It's not a buffer zone, it's cities, complete cities, Jabalia, Beit Lahia, Beit Hanun, Shijaiya village, and the whole eastern part of the Gaza Strip, more than 1 kilometers from the border of the Israeli, which considered as the main source of the food. It's the food security, let me say, source of the Gazans. It's the fertilized or the fertile soil and the open area that they use, the Palestinian use for agriculture. Now under the Israeli, let me say, fire, and it's considered as buffer zone or not restricted but forbidden areas to be entered by the Palestinian. These areas should be cleared, and then the state or giving the people the opportunity to reach all of the area of the Gaza, which is also shortage or scarce, and prioritize the rehabilitation of water resources and wastewater collection, which considers the main source of pollution in the Gaza Strip. Millions of tons and millions of cubic meters cumulated, gathered from the people crowded in the southern part of the Gaza Strip from the beginning of this war till to now, in between the tents and shelters of people. You can imagine what is the amount of contamination and pollution and diseases also spread between people who is already vulnerable and sensitive and fragile because of the immunity system and health and the immunity, and relevant to the malnutrition that they have and the problems related to the food and the absence of the health care units and let me say the sector of the health, which destroyed completely. In addition to the soil remediation and the restoration of agricultural lands that prevent further environmental degradation to ensure the safety and the security of the people in food items. Guarantee the international and local organizations access to Gaza for the provision of a humanitarian aid, environmental restoration and public health service. Day by day we received efforts or something like promises from our friends in all over the world, but they don't have the accessibility to the Gaza Strip to give, or to, let me say, to deliver their assistance or relief for those people. Many of restrictions and problems facing anybody would like to give help for the people. So we have to open the borders. The lifting of the blockage and the opening of the borders are crucial to allow the flow of necessary resources and personnel. Mobilize international financial support, because the strategic and, let me say, the short-term projects that we are looking for to be implemented in Gaza need money. It's according to what my colleagues said. So we have to launch a international financial support conferences, and then we can talk about how we can deliver this funds to rebuild what they destroyed as environmentally. I'm talking about environmental facilities, wastewater treatment plants, which paid, and we brought many of millions from all over the world, especially the European countries, to support main and centralized wastewater treatment plants, especially Engist in the north part of the Gaza Strip that they destroyed completely. It's the eastern part of Beit Hanun, and the other in the Burej, which centralized wastewater treatment plant. In addition to the desalination plants to desalinize the seawater to provide the people with safe and healthy water. Many of strategic projects have been destroyed completely within this war, which took many of millions and years from the Palestinian people to be built, to give the people the capability and the ability to be alive on their lands.